I think it's fair to say that Battlefield 6 has blown the community away in a very positive manner. They have listened, they have learned, and most importantly, they have been working together with us, the community and the player base, to make the best possible game that they can. Although no one is perfect and neither is Battlefield 6. Earlier today, one of the producers at DICE called Alexia Christophe posted a tweet saying, "I'm gonna talk about our server browser later today, but first I want to understand everyone's reasons for wanting a server browser so I can make sure I explain what we're doing effectively. What is it about a server browser that's important to you lot?" Silk says, "Appreciate that you're engaging in this convo. 1. Ability to guarantee that you're getting into a full game. 2042 did not do that well at all, and I think we all can agree on that. Ability to choose a map and part of a rotation that you want to play. Often I'm feeling a specific map and experience." Now this is a very big thing in Battlefield as well, because Battlefield isn't the same game in all maps. It's a very, very different experience, and I think everyone can agree on that as well. A lot of people saying they want it because that was how it was like in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Probably some nostalgia kicking in here, but then there's a large part of the people who responded to this tweet that it is because of geological problems. So for example, people who are from Australian servers is having a hard time getting into proper games and full games, and oftentimes they can't really choose the map they want to play on, which obviously suck. And then there are some who doesn't even want the server browser, like Captain Magnus, who says, "I hope there's no server browser. The popular maps will be having all of the players." So obviously there's a lot of split opinions about this topic, although I will agree with some of the people who is saying, why won't you tell us why you won't bring the server browser back? It kind of feels like DICE is doing everything they can to not launch a server browser, and it's kind of weird because they're not really saying why. The thing is, with all server browsers that's ever been, there's always been a quick play feature, right? There was always a button that you could click and just get into a random game, which will be the normal matchmaking. So why not have that and just have the server browser on top? I don't understand how that's a problem. Now, after she got a bunch of responses on this tweet, she then posted the following 3 messages. "It feels like the most important things are persistent servers, a sense of community and a way to play together, being able to choose specific maps and modes, being able to filter by ping and server fullness, and support for low pop regions." And this is Australia or South Africa, something like that. "I think our server browser solutions answer all these ones. Yes, it's via portal and shows the community experiences, but these can award full XP, will be front and center in our main menu, not hidden, and will allow you to filter and search for specific things you want." Again, more to share on this in the future, but seeing all your replies, I think what we have caters to the majority of use cases. We could talk more about if/why it feels like it's not enough at a later date. So this was the response that we've been waiting all day for, and it has not exactly been taken positively. Because to be fair, the community wants what the community wants, and some people may think they're just crybabies, and other people just want to see the game be the best game that it possibly can. Now, my personal opinion on this is that I think it's weird that they won't just do it. Kind of the same with the classes. Like, everybody wants it, why not just do it? Like, is it worth creating this drama? Is it worth kind of splitting the player base like this over? I completely agree. I think we should have a server browser. I remember back in Battlefield 3 when I was playing on these specific servers, or let's say there's an item in the game that you really hate. Let's just take, for example, mortar in Battlefield 1, right? Or in Battlefield 3 or 4. I would often go on the server browser and look for a server that said no mortar. I don't want that. And if that was what I would wanted to play, then I'd play that server. Or if I want to play a specific map, I'd go on that one. Or if I've met some cool people on a specific server, I'd go on that server again, see if they're online. That's how we created the friendships back in the day, because now we just kicked into a completely random new server every single time a match is over, and that kind of takes away the community in the game. There would always be these specific servers where you know there's be some complete nerd that's just getting 500 kills with a helicopter in there, and you wouldn't be able to kill him, so you know, do not join that server because that guy with the helicopters in that server, right? That's the fun thing about the server browser. It's like a physical place you can be, and a lot of the people on this X post is actually saying the exact same thing. A lot of people want it for the sheer community that brings people together. For example, let's take Cookie's comment here. "The server browser isn't just a feature, it's the backbone of Battlefield community. Jack Frag said it best. Community is key. A proper server browser lets players form tight-knit groups, keep coming back to familiar servers, and build lasting friendship. It creates stability, not chaos. Some older Battlefield titles still have active communities purely because of the server browser allowed them to thrive. Custom games, clan nights, community events, all of that start with the server browser. Just my 2 cents. And I completely agree with Cookie here. I remember all of these type things from Battlefield 3 3 and Battlefield 4. Such good times, and I think it's really stupid to make a whole fuss about something that they can just implement really fast. I do not think that it's worth doing all of this just to not have the browser in the actual main game. Now, they do say that they will have it in Portal, but the thing is, in Portal there will be no official DICE servers either. Now you have a server browser with only custom experiences because you are once again splitting the community. The same thing they're doing with class systems. Now it's not just in the beta that you have open and closed weapon playlist. It will actually be like that at launch. So at launch you will now have one part of players who want to play official servers with locked weapons. You have one part of the player base that will play official servers with open weapons, and then you have the ones who want to only play Portal because they want the server browser experience. So you're dividing the entire player base in 3 big groups, and I don't think that's worth it. You could have all that into just one giant group by deciding on one weapon system with the classes open or closed. Just keep it all the same and give the community the server browser they so want. It doesn't matter if it's supported to you or not. If they want it, just give it to them. They're the one who's giving you money. They're the one who's giving you the entire ability to make these games. So if they want a server browser and you already made the server browser in another part of the game, why not just make it accessible to everyone? What is stopping you from doing that? And I think that's the most frustrating thing for the community, is that DICE won't say why they won't put it in. They're not really giving a specific thing. A lot of people saying it's because of, well, then they can't control SBMM, or they just don't want to cater to what we want. To be fair, there's no real way that we can know what it actually is. We can only really know what they tell us. But at the end of the day, the community wants choice. They want to choose what map they play. They want to choose how many players are in their match. They want to choose how many people they're playing against. And it just opens up to so many cool things. Nevertheless, it is cool to see that DICE, or Alexia here, is talking to the community and actually asking, but that doesn't really count for anything unless it is taken into account. And the way she formulated the rest of her tweets kind of gave the idea that they already made the decision and doesn't really care what we think, but they just want to know how we feel about it so that they can tell us in a better way, which kind of is wrong, because she's not really asking anything, is she? She's just kind of asking how she can tell us without us getting mad or angry, which I think is not the best way to go about this. If they don't add a server browser, there will probably be some form of stronger SBMM. You will divide the player base. DICE will get what they want. We just don't know like what it is or why they want to do it. And the normies will probably have a somewhat of an easier time getting into a game, even though they can just add a quick play feature like all the other games has done. But if we add the server browser to the game, the community will be happy because they got what they wanted and they feel like they were listened to in the process of making the game. They will have all the choice that they could ever want. The player base will be collected more, and the new players who's getting confused by everything can just press quick play, because why not just add a quick play feature? So to round this off, what really is the problem is that they don't want a server browser. We don't know why, but we want a server browser and we've told them why. It seems like they have set their decision that server browser will be only exclusive to Portal, which is kind of stupid, I think, because now they have to choose. Either they want to play some extremely modded version of the game, or they have to play completely vanilla. It has to be either or, and that's when the community feels like they lose their control and they lose their choice. That is why the community is at rage here. Do I think this is gonna destroy the entire game? No. Do I think it's really profitable for them to just listen to the communities about these small changes that doesn't really affect DICE in a big way? Yes, absolutely. This is a no-brainer for them to do. Why not just do it, make the community happy, and make the player base like you again like they did before? That's what you're trying to do. Why are you arguing about stuff like this that doesn't really affect you in any way, shape, or form? You've already made the server browser for the Portal. Just add it to the normal game. Why do you want to divide it like this? It makes zero sense. And it seems like the people on Reddit and X agrees with me a lot, except for this guy, but you know. But none of us knows what they're gonna do in the future. There's no way for us to do anything else than just give our honest opinions on X or on Reddit, or make videos about it. That's why I started making videos about it, because I care what happens to these games, because this is what I grew up with. So the only way to voice your opinion is to do it, and I ask you, the community, to back it up if you agree with me, or to make your own videos and make your own stand on it. If you enjoyed and got any value out of it, make sure to subscribe and like the video. If there's anything else you want covered, or if there's anything that I forgot or missed, then please write it in the comments so that I can improve on these videos, as this is one of my first ever videos. If you want to follow the progression of Battlefield 6, this is definitely place to be, as I am doing my best to cover absolutely everything that happens leading up to the launch of Battlefield 6. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.